Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Jason Wilson, and also our host, Van Leer. This is Motivational Life Hacks. Welcome to the show, brother.
Welcome. I appreciate that, brother. So super excited today about today's motivational message. We're going to call these Motivational Monday. So looking forward to getting started and inspiring the world, Jason.
Awesome, man. Man, I got to tell this story. This came to me as an idea immediately after my prayer time Saturday. And he was like, call Van up, see what he thinks about this idea. So, man, I'm always really, really serious about following through on any idea, concept that God gives me. So here we are.
Absolutely. Well, first, I want to thank you. And obviously, this is a long time coming with Morehouse Brothers.
Yeah.
So that dream that came to you came to fruition. And so excited again about what we're going to do today. Today's topic, I think, is one of those topics that a lot of us in our lifetime have struggled with. And specifically, that struggle is your journey to success. And when we think about success, it's more than just financial. You want success in your marriage, in your friendships. You want success when it comes to your careers. Some of us, like myself, I play a few sports. Obviously, I love to win when I'm playing these sports.
Right.
So when we think about this journey that we call success, a lot of times we're not even realizing when we're not able to reach that success. In other words, when we have those obstacles standing in front of us, it affects us tremendously. For example, on that journey to success, when you have those challenges, I've seen individuals suffer through depression, suffer through anxiety, have anger issues, and just overall just want to take their ball and go home because they're at the point where they feel like they're not going to reach their final destination of success. Now, Jason, before we really walk down this road, I got something special for you. I got a surprise for you on this
Okay.
podcast today. So I wanted to look up a quote because, to be honest with you, a lot of this success that we're trying to acquire is all mental. It's
Mm.
really all built inside of our brain. So what I want to do is I want to read a quote to you. And this quote I pulled from a gentleman by the name of John Milton. John Milton was a poet from the 1600s. Specifically, he was an English poet. So one, I want to read it to you, Jason. And then I want to get your opinion on what you think about the quote. It's not going to take me but a couple of seconds to do it. And
Okay.
then, if you don't mind, maybe giving us one or two tips on your journey to success and maybe some of those obstacles that you had to overcome. So let me read this to you. I think this is
Sure.
pretty powerful. It says, the mind is its own place. It can make a heaven out of hell or a hell out of heaven.
Mm.
I thought that was very, very powerful. What do you think, Jason?
Oh man, I couldn't I couldn't think of anything that would be more true than that, man. Um,
Absolutely.
that is absolutely true. I think that a lot of that has to do with your relationship with God. So if you're close to God, of course, you're going to be motivated. You're going to have positivity. You're going to be encouraged, especially when those challenges come. You'll be encouraged to overcome those challenges with having a positive mindset. And then on the other
Absolutely.
hand, if you're being constantly attacked in your thought life by the enemy, well, that leads to depression, anxiety, PTSD, and all of those other emotions that people suffer from on a daily basis. So yeah, it can go either way.
Love that. And do you mind sharing one or two tips on what do you do because you're a successful man? What have you done in your life to actually overcome some of those challenges that you experienced?
Well, I think it comes to my routine every day. You know, the first thing I do before I even get up is pray, and that prayer time in the morning, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. So whatever challenges that come, you can always go to the Lord in prayer and ask for guidance, direction, anything that you need in order to overcome that thing that you're facing. So for me, that's one of the most important things that I incorporate into my daily routine.
I love that. Routines help you. I like to say repetition is the mother of learning.
Yeah.
If you do something over and over again and you do it the right way, because when my dad was living, this is one thing he would always say to me. He would say, listen, it's not about practice makes perfect. It's about perfect practice makes perfect. So you have to be able to do something continuously the right way. And then when you get to those stressful moments, guess what? You'll go back and rely on that, what we're going to call training, to get you through those stressful moments. And then you'll come out on the other end even better than you thought you would be.
Hmm.
Now, in today's message, this road that I want to walk down of the journey to success, I want to illustrate it. A lot of times when we think about success, I guarantee you there are typically three different categories of why you continue to either bump your head on the wall when you're going to the level of success that you want to reach, or you're hitting that ceiling every time you're trying to launch and get to that level of success. So I want to break down specifically, in my opinion, what are those three main reasons why you're not reaching it? And again, a lot of times this is not your fault. You think it's your fault, and then it gets inside of your own head. And then all of a sudden, it didn't even feel good to still go on that journey. Or, like I said, you just want to take your ball and go home. So you just decide, I'm just going to quit overall. This is not about quitting, this is about succeeding. So, again, let's walk down this road and let's take a look at these three challenges that you're going to overcome in your life of walking to success. So, Jason, I've traveled quite a bit in my life, and I want to illustrate what a typical day looks like on my journey. So, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll get myself together. And I'm one of those individuals where I wait to the last minute to pack. So, yes, the day that I have to travel, I'll go ahead and pack my bags, get myself everything that I need to make sure that when I'm on my trip, I'm okay. I go downstairs and get into the garage, throw my bags into the back of my truck, go ahead and back out of that garage, and I head to the airport. I happen to be living here in Atlanta, Georgia, and in Atlanta, the main airport is Hartsfield International Airport here in Atlanta. And so I arrive at Hartsfield. I personally like to park in the parking deck attached to the airport. So I go ahead and park, grab my bags out of the back of the truck, go ahead and drag my bags up to check in. I go ahead and check in, ride the actual tram to my gate. A lot of times when we're flying out, we get there early. Actually, you're required to get there early. So you're going to sit there and wait before it's time for you to board the actual plane. So I'll sit there and wait till my zone is called. Eventually, my zone is called, and I'll walk on the plane and find my seat, sit there and wait for all the other passengers to get onto the plane and find their seats. And eventually, the plane door closes. And then ultimately, that plane begins to back away from the gate. As the plane backs away from the gate, and then ultimately it's going to turn to go towards the runway. As it's moving down that tarmac towards the runway, every once in a while, every once in a while, the plane will stop. And when that plane stops, the pilot of the plane gets on the microphone and typically says something like this. They say, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to get you to your final destination. But right now, I cannot get you to your final destination. And as a matter of fact, we have planes circling the airport that wish to land. Obviously, we want to take off to reach our final destination, we also have a backup of planes behind us that also want to take off and to find their final destination or to reach their final destination. So ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, currently all of us are in what is called a holding pattern. I want to talk about why you continue to be in a holding pattern. Remember what I said earlier. Typically, there are three main challenges that you're going to occur on your journey to success. And again, a lot of times this has nothing to do with you. You're just going through the motions. So let's break this down. Number one, the pilot would get on and say, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to get you to your final destination. Unfortunately, I cannot get you to your final destination because there is atmospheric pressure in the area. Ladies and gentlemen, all that means is there is bad weather in the area. Now let's think about this for a second. There is no way it is advisable to fly a plane in bad weather. As you probably can imagine, a lot of things can happen. You could get up there in the sky with this bad weather, and then all of a sudden it gets so bad that you got to find the nearest airport to land the plane because ultimately you're not going to make your final destination. Another thing that could happen, you could get up in the sky and the weather is so bad that you literally have to turn the plane around and go back to your original destination. And again, you ultimately won't reach your final destination. Now, let's talk about you. Some of you literally can see the destination of success of where you're trying to go. You have mapped it out. You have secured financing to do this journey. You have talked to individuals who went through the same journey that you are trying to achieve and they reached a level of success. But when you take off and you get up in the atmosphere, you have things going on around you that are continuously pushing your plane to the ground, pushing your plane to the ground. Team, just like that plane, you're trying to fly in bad weather. And as we talked about earlier, it is extremely difficult at times to try to fly in bad weather. Now, let me tell you what's great. Bad weather eventually will clear up. Quite simply, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot stop the sun from shining. So eventually, that sun is going to shine. All I'm asking you is to have patience. Just like the pilot in that plane on the ground has to have patience and wait for that bad weather to clear, and then they can take off and ultimately get you to your final destination. Guess what? That's exactly what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to wait till that sun shines, and I guarantee you that journey to success will be a lot smoother and a lot easier. Number two, sometimes the pilot gets on the microphone and says something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to get you to your final destination, but currently we can't take off because unfortunately we need to do some maintenance on the plane. Now let's talk about you. As we spoke earlier about mental and this all being inside of your brain. Team, just like it's not advisable to fly a plane in bad weather, it's not advisable for you to move towards your journey of success if you're mentally broken. It's hard to do this when you're depressed. Think about that for a second. When you're not feeling good, are you optimizing your opportunity to reach success? If you're stressed and have anxiety, is that further going to delay that mental aptitude that you need to reach the level of success that you want to reach. Just like that pilot is going to have to turn that plane around, go back to the gate, allow maintenance to come and find out what's first going on with the plane, then acquire the appropriate tools to fix the plane, and then they allow that pilot to take that plane back to that runway and take off to the final destination. Same with you. If you're going through mental strife right now, a lot of times it's hard to do it by yourself, as in fix yourself. Take that time, take that effort to get help. If it's professional help, so be it. If you need a coach, so be it. If you need a mentor, so be it. There are a lot of different resources that you can take advantage of. A good example, coming here to what I like to call this Motivational Monday, Motivational Life Hacks by Van Leer. I am going to feed you on a continual basis. Your mental space is what I'm trying to reach, because I know you have greatness in you. I know ultimately you're trying to reach that destination of success. And again, if you're not in a great mental space, it's going to be very difficult. Again, it's not advisable for that pilot to try to fly that plane when the plane is broken. It's not advisable for you to try to reach that journey of success when you are broken. And another thing, there is no shame in getting help. There is no shame for asking for help. A lot of times we feel like, you know what? I can tough it out. It's okay. It'll clear up on its own. Sometimes it will, but a lot of times it won't. And understand, you have to allow yourself grace. Sometimes you get so deep into your brain and in your head where it's all about the negative. It's all about, I'm not going to make it. It's all about, woe is me. But I guarantee you, if you just take the time and seek help, that help is going to be advantageous to that journey that you're trying to reach, and success will be that final destination. Now, number 3. Oh boy, here we go. Number 3 is a big deal on your journey to success. And a lot of times, again, this has nothing to do with us. We just have to go through the motions and understand what's happening to us and make the appropriate steps to make sure that we can reach our levels of success. All right, here we go. Number 3. Sometimes the pilot gets on the plane. Gets over the intercom and says something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to get you to your final destination, but unfortunately, we cannot get you to your final destination because we have a disturbance on the plane. As in, we have individuals on the plane that are preventing us from getting to our final destination. All right, let's talk about you. Listen, and listen well. Everybody does not wish you well on your destination to success. There are individuals out there right now, who know where you're trying to go. Some of them even know they can help you to get to where you're trying to go. And guess what? They're not going to help you. As a matter of fact, they like to throw negativity your way and pollute your mind so that you don't reach your level of success. Again, I need to go ahead and keep it real with you and tell you the truth. Sometimes it could be the closest ones to you. That's right. It could be your wife. It could be your husband. It can be your sibling, a aunt, a uncle, a cousin. It can be a coworker. It could be a friend. It could be an acquaintance. Some of you all are in school. Guess what? It can be your teacher. Listen, I really want you to listen to this. There are really only three ways and three reasons why individuals are in your life. Three and three only. They're there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Let's talk about those reason individuals for a second. You ever have somebody in your life and they were only in your life for a short amount of time? And then when they're gone, you're kind of like, whatever happened to Jason? Or whatever happened to Mary? And then you think to yourself, what was the real purpose of them coming into my life? They were only around me for a month or two. And then all of a sudden you reach out to them, you text them, or you give them a call, and no return call or no return text. Guess what? They were in your life for a reason. A lot of times they were in your life to teach you a lesson. I got a friend of mine who actually experienced this with the individual in the past. This friend had another friend who was a friend of a friend, and they began to hang out. And as they hung out, they were vibing and they were really getting along. And ultimately, when they were spending time together, they were sharing their life stories. And my friend happened to share with this gentleman his life story. And he was talking about basically a level of success that he was trying to get to, but he was not able to secure financing. He was literally trying to go to banks and secure loans, but for whatever reason, he was not able to secure those loans. Well, one day out of the blue in the mail, he received the envelope. He opened up this envelope, and it happened to be a check for the exact amount of what he needed to achieve his level of success. And on the check, he saw the name, and it was the guy that he had just recently met. Obviously, in excitement, you want to reach out to that individual, text them, call them, find out what's going on and why they sent you this money, and sing their praises and tell them thank you. And so he did. But to no avail, he was not able to reach that individual. He texted them, he called them. Again, he was a friend of another one of his friends. He reached out to his friend and said, "Hey, what's going on with our buddy?" That friend tried to reach out to them. To no avail again, they could not find him. That person was in my friend's life for a reason. He literally listened to what was going on with my friend, figured out a way to help him, and proceeded to help him. And then all of a sudden, he was gone. In my opinion, that is a reasoned individual. Now, let's talk about those seasoned individuals in your life. You ever have somebody come into your life and they were there with you month after month after month, to the point a year is going by and you're like, wow, I'm really glad this person came into my life. And then all of a sudden, after that year's time, they vanish, never to be seen or heard from again. Well, ultimately, while they are there for a reason, more importantly, that lesson needs to be taught over time. So month after month after month, they were there to teach you a lesson, but it took longer for you to learn that lesson. And a lot of times, and there will be times where that lesson may not be positive. We're just assuming we're always learning lessons from positivity. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You can learn the best lessons from negativity. You ever be around somebody negative, and then all of a sudden you say to yourself, like, oh my goodness, he's just such a Debbie Downer. Or, every time I'm around her, I don't feel good. Their vibe, their energy is not one that makes me smile. There's a lesson to be learned from being around that person. And while you want to be so quick to run away and say, you know what, let me just leave them in the past, it's okay. Learn that lesson just like you learned a lesson from somebody who's positive. Again, my friend got the check in the mail that was able to help him to reach his level of success. Who's to say you can't learn a lesson from this individual who may not be your cup of tea? It's okay. Ultimately, again, if they're seasonal individuals, they're going to be gone and it will be okay. The question is, did you learn the lesson? Now, that lifetime person, I'll be honest, that's the sweet spot of where you want to hit where it comes to individuals. Being able to weed through the mess and find those individuals that you can rely on for a lifetime to the end of your days. Very rarely, and I'm pretty sure you all know this, very rarely do you have the privilege of meeting and being around those people. But when you're around them and they show up for you day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, it's something about those individuals that just makes you smile just to think of them. When you talk to them, even though you may be down in the dumps, you feel better. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to cherish those lifetime individuals, those ones who go to bat for you, those ones who seek and can pull out that greatness inside of you, those ones that ultimately you want to have by your side as you matriculate through life. Those are the individuals that you want on the plane with you. Those are the individuals that you want to go through the ups and downs with. Those lifetime individuals are those ones that ultimately are going to get you through. So what am I ultimately trying to say to you all today? What I'm trying to say to you is, you are the plane. You are the plane. And ultimately, planes were built to fly. Ladies and gentlemen, every Monday, I am going to do my best to feed you with the motivation you need to make it through that week. Understand, I already know that some of you are going through it. In today's society, we're struggling. As we talked about earlier, the mental capacity that you have to deal with when it comes to depression, anxiety, stress, just overall what's going on in the world could be a heavy weight on your shoulders. It's okay. I go through things, you go through things. But motivation is what's going to get you through. And I guarantee you, if you listen to me, I will bring out that greatness in you. I will bring that sun to your atmosphere to shine upon you so that you can do what is necessary to reach that level of success in life that you want to acquire. And again, it's not always about the money. I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to inspire other individuals. Now, I have a call to action for you. Listen, my book, 50 Motivational Life Hacks to Become a Better You. I have 50 quick, fast, in a hurry chapters that you could read in probably less than 2 or 3 minutes per chapter that can help you to get through your day. And I talk about all types of things. If you're going through ups and downs, I got you. If you want a positive outlook, I got you. If you have anger issues, guess what? There's something in there for you too. These 50 motivational life hacks, based on what I've been seeing since I released this book, is doing phenomenal for individuals. That same level of success that they're achieving, I want you all to achieve. Also, please reach out to me via my social media, my link tree. I also have videos on both LinkedIn and YouTube. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If you need motivation, you can get it from me. One of those social media platforms will always be available to you to make sure you shine. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you again for spending this time with me. So glad that you make me a part of your life this early Monday morning. And Jason, thank you for allowing me to walk into my purpose. I really appreciate this. And again, please tune in each Monday for continual motivational life hacks. I am Van Leer. And again, I am here to bring out your greatness. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back next Monday at the same time at 9 o'clock Eastern. Man, that was such a powerful word, man. I thank you so much for doing what you do. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen, and a great week ahead. Take
Thank
care.
you. You all take care.